Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say Shalom. This is a Montazar from the Chicago camp, coming back at you again with another lesson entitled No Retirement Plan. So, what I'd like to talk about tonight in this lesson is the retirement of TD Jakes. Okay. So, TD Jakes spent decades amassing wealth in his potter's house, preaching false doctrine. And as of late, he was known to be a zesty power bottom. Okay. Going to the freak offs, all right, with P. Diddy. All right. And so these things came out, okay? And so he was shamed, all right? And when that happened, his membership dwindled. And then shortly after that, you know, he allegedly had a heart attack. And then after that, you see him kind of handing the reins to his daughter. Got to keep it in the family. So regardless of what the scripture says about women preaching and teaching, okay, he hands it off to his daughter, all right, and her husband. It says Bishop T.D. Jakes announces retirement. Quote, they're not meant to replace me because no one can, but they can help extend me, T.D. Jakes. Okay? So even in his riding off into the sunset, he still has quite a bit of pride. Yes, T.D. Jakes retired from his role as the senior pastor of the Dallas megachurch, the Potter's House, in April 2025. After suffering a heart attack in late 2024, he announced his decision to step down after decades of leadership to focus on economic empowerment and the needs of the community. He will continue his involvement with the T.D. Jakes Foundation and will remain as chairman of the board of the church's ministry, while his daughter and son-in-law Sarah Jakes and Roberts, Sarah Jake Roberts and Tuer Roberts will take over the senior pastor position. Okay, so regardless of what the scripture says, he got his daughter installed, but that's understandable because that's what they're gonna do. All right, they're gonna shit all over the word. Okay, she gonna be in a position where she ain't supposed to be. But that's Christianity as a whole. All right. There's no retirement plan in this truth. Okay. So the men of the Lord that you see preaching and teaching on the street corners, all right, there's no retirement plan. This is Sirach 11 and 20. Be steadfast in thy covenant and be conversant therein, and wax old in thy work. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in Yahweh and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord Yahweh on the sudden to make a poor man rich. The blessing of Yahweh is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish. All right. So everything that you can amass down here on earth, okay, is all temporal. So if you got a retirement plan and retirement savings and all of that is temporal. You got inflation eating away at the dollar every minute, okay? And not only that, there's not going to be any work here in Egypt, okay? Isaiah the 19th chapter tells you that. Okay? So you can't be putting your trust in this kingdom that's about to uh, pass away. All right, so he was outed as a zesty power bottom. His church membership dwindled, and then shortly after, the heart attack followed, and then retirement. This is Hebrews 3 and 12. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living power. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. For we are made partakers of Hamashiach if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end. Okay? That's not a retirement plan. While it is said today, if ye will hear this voice, harden not your hearts as in the provocation. Okay? So there was a generation, the generation during that 40 years of wandering in the wilderness where the word, okay, not mixed with faith, didn't profit them. Okay, so they weren't able to go into the rest or inherit that rest. All right. So after decades of making millions of dollars, okay, TD Jakes is now retired. This is Jeremiah 5:27. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore, they are become great and waxen rich. They have waxen fat. They shine. Yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. And the right of the needy do they not judge. Shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord Yahweh? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? You have to keep in mind that Satan has the ability to bless as well. Okay? So just because, see, in the black church, there's this thought that if you doing well, the Lord is obviously blessing you. But remember, when Yahushua was being tempted, Satan said, if you would bow to me, all the kingdoms of the earth will I give to you. He said, because it was given unto me. You see? So the Lord has given unto Satan where he can bless you. Okay? So it doesn't mean anything because he collected millions of dollars. All right? Because none of that meant anything because he stored up no treasure in heaven. This is Micah 2:10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. Luke 12:43 says, blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Okay? So we want to be found preaching and teaching this truth. Matthew 9:35. And Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plentiful or plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Okay? So the men of the Lord are laborers together. All right, laboring in his truth. Hebrews 6:10, it says, for the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. All right, and that's what this lesson is doing right now. It's ministering to the saints. Okay, and we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. All right, and we inherit those promises through enduring. Okay, enduring to the end. John 6:27 says, labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you, for him hath the Most High the Father sealed. Okay, so we're not laboring for that meat to perish. Okay, we fighting for that penny. Okay, we fighting for the meat. Okay, that's not gonna perish. okay, that meat that leads to everlasting life. Okay, so that would be what? The flesh. All right, the bread of life. And in closing, Matthew 24 and 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Okay, so there is no retirement plan for the men of the Lord. Okay, those men that you see laboring week in and week out, all right, in the streets, at the gates of the city, on the highways and the byways, all right. There's no such thing as when we get done with YouTube, like Deacon Hakar said, all right. No retirement plan, all right. I pray that this lesson has been edifying. Until the next one, Shalom.